My artwork since 1999 is unlike the work of the first half of my more than 40-year career as an artist. Today, my work is one of high three-dimensional reliefs that I build using a wide variety of common and ordinary objects, which I apply and work over with different mediums and textures. Generally, I glue the objects onto multi-panel modular canvases which are interchangeable. And with every new arrangement of panels, a new visual sensation of the artwork is presented to the viewer. The number of possible rearrangements of panels can only be calculated using a mathematical formula that takes into account all the variables: number of panels, number of their sides, and all possible positions they can be placed in. Throughout the years, both my current and past work have drawn from a constant source of inspiration. A lifelong attraction for the infinite. The desire to take up making art as a profession came to me in 1972, while I was taking a shower at home. For some years I had been increasingly losing enthusiasm for living my life as a businessman, to the point where I wanted to break free from it, for good. The disenchantment was due in part to the drastic personal transformation I was pursuing, influenced by the U.S.'s counterculture movement of the 60s. I had lived a couple of years in San Francisco, just a few blocks from where the hippie movement blossomed, not long after I left. But its lure reached me in the early 70s in Panama, where I was then living as a young executive in my hometown's narrow social culture. In 1966, after a few years in the States, I returned by road to my country with my wife and baby daughter in a brand new Pontiac GTO. In 1969, by a whim of destiny, I found myself in charge of two small import and export distribution firms that marketed French perfumes and cosmetics to the Caribbean. My dad had managed them since I was a small kid. He had become critically ill, and with my older brother in political exile and the operations in financial trouble, the French owner, who lived in Paris, took the risk of appointing me executive director. I had just turned 23. My father passed away soon after. For 5 years, I put long hours of hard work into the task of organizing and getting the ailing companies into shape. I traveled the Caribbean to visit the market and businesses we sold to. I put the best of my efforts into becoming a successful businessman, and in a way, I succeeded. The quality of my personal life and that of my family showed evidence of economic progress and a healthy and cheerful social integration. But I wasn't entirely at home in the commercial environment. As much as I tried, The life of a businessman didn't attract me viscerally. I felt I was cut out for another type of working existence, one that would satisfy my commitment to the principle that hard work is required when one pursues the future one idealizes. My ideal was to find a job that would encourage me to face it daily with welcomed anticipation, something I didn't feel with commerce, much less that of merchandising. But my family's economic well-being depended on me. I didn't dare take any drastic step that might jeopardize it. Meanwhile, I would continue dreaming about finding another path. At 28, I had yet to find that ideal type of work I longed so much to find. Not knowing what new direction to give my life had me very depressed. The only thing clear to me was that I did not want to continue being a merchant. But everything changed that day in our small home in Colon. While I showered, soaked up and under the bath's warmth, suddenly, out of the blue, I felt the crystal clear call of art. From that moment, everything fit into place. Uncertainty lifted, and unquestionable purpose became obvious. "I'm a painter!" I shouted, dripping out from the bathroom to give my wife the good news. I felt that at last I had found the purpose of my existence. And to confirm it, without delay, I took a long, critical look at the few casual watercolors and a drawing of my dad I had made a few years before. Those works would mark the starting point of the new course my life would follow. Painting became an opportune and indispensable compass that set me on the course of self-reflection that allowed me to recognize the artist I had always been, from boyhood. And as an artist, I used my newfound creative craft to provide coherency for the existential and philosophical shifts that were permanently transforming me.